Hello and welcome to Reykjavík Grapevines newscast. My name is Valur Grettisson. I am an editor-in-chief at Reykjavík Grapevine. With me is Polly. Thankfully, we actually found the disc last time. Arthur didn't want to show you. He wanted some suspense in the end because he's Ingimar Bergman of the newscasts, of course. But we have a lot of news today. But before, of course, I just, want to remind you of our membership. It's still growing quite rapidly, and thank you for that, by the way. It's very fun. The Discord chat is incredibly fun. It's really fun to be a little bit closer to you, and more videos are coming. Of course, for those that are not members, on Halloween we will have a ghost video for you about ghost stories in Iceland, and of course Monsters is also coming up. So just pay attention. There's a lot of good things coming up if you're in the membership. Also, if you're still confused about the High Five membership and the membership on YouTube, we just cannot combine it somehow. So we have to have it separated for now, but we are trying to find some ways to make this more easy for everyone. But if you want, of course, to pay attention to what's going on right now, news and so on, then subscribe to that also. But we are now for news. Up for news. You ready for this? Okay. The biggest news right now is definitely that Angelín Sterkay has been convicted to 16 years in prison for murder in what we call in Icelandic Rauðagerðismorðið, or the murder in Rauðagerði. This was an odd execution style murder where it seems to have been very connected to criminals in Iceland and criminal underworld life. This man shot another man, a father and a husband, to death with a gun, with a silencer. He tried to claim that he did this in self-defense because the other man was a more dangerous criminal than he himself, or something like that. Of course, this is something that the court didn't listen to. I haven't seen, it just happened, just broke out right now, this sentence. So I haven't seen the court document yet, but I always go through this, either if I'm working with it or not. I'm just a curious guy. But it's going to be interesting read, definitely. What matters also is that there were 3 other people that were charged for being kind of a spotter, so aiding in this murder, but they were all acquitted. And this has caused some stir. For example, the lawyers of these people say that they will definitely go ahead with the retribution case. So this is not over yet. Also, the man that was convicted for the murder, he needs to pay the widow and her children 30 million Icelandic krona, which is around 300,000 Icelandic krona. It's a little less than that. But yeah, that's what it costs you to kill people today. This is also it's an end to a very I think possibly the most brutal murder in connection with organized crime in Iceland. Although they don't say specifically that this is organized crimes, but there was a lot of very well-known people around this case which are very involved, highly involved with organized crime. So I think, I mean, although it doesn't say in the court documents, but Icelanders see it like that. Also, then to the next thing. Míla, I told you a little bit about this the other day. Míla means mile in English. And the thing is that this is, of course, a company that has this fiber optic cable in Iceland. Things are becoming much clearer now than it was when I told you about this last time. It seems that it caught the politicians off guard, if you will. But the thing is that this company will be sold for 7 billion Icelandic krona to the French company Ardian France. This is it has been called a hedge fund in Icelandic media. I'm not sure if it is the correct term of it, but this company is huge in France. And it's also one of few companies that is this huge that have a woman as a CEO and a founder. The thing is that, of course, Icelanders often become a little bit jumpy when it comes to foreign investors. This is perhaps kind of a panic, I don't know, but the thing is, we are in the EU, meaning that, of course, we are within the economics of Europe, basically, of the EU area. And this is basically what catapulted us kind of into the 21st century, this agreement. But foreign investing is, of course, legal and not much to do about it. Also, Mila only have 15% of the whole fiber optic cables in Iceland. The rest is owned by state-owned companies, and they say that if we are afraid of them raising the price, we have competition in this market, so it's pretty obvious that that would not be very easy unless they want to lose their investment. And also, the competition authority in Iceland already have said that Síminn has to sell this company, Mila, which owns this fiber optics. This used to be like an infrastructure that didn't seem to matter when it was sold in the 2000s, and nobody really thought about it, of course, until the internet kind of broke out and became a thing. So fiber optics are, of course, very, very important for Icelanders in so many ways. In so many ways, actually, that there was a meeting with a national security council in Iceland. And they actually had a meeting about this, and our minister, Sigurður Ingi, he said that we do have some laws that can protect the interest of Icelanders in this case, and they are going to use them all. Yeah, Kata. This is, by the way, the place that me and Polly, we always take our night walks here. You remember, Polly, of course, she can run for 30 kilometers per day. I think I can perhaps make her run for 1 or 2 every day. So she is very energetic, but she is thankfully getting a little bit older. So we always go here. This is not the nicest place, I guess, but we have the ocean view and the mountains, of course. This is like an industrial zone in the west of Reykjavik, and kind of a parking lot, I guess. So, on with the news. The Northwest election mess. I love this news. Well, I love and hate them, but they're quite serious. But it's playing out to be quite silly. The Head Election Supervision Committee has been offered to pay a fine for breaking election laws. And when I say that, breaking election laws, then I'm talking about that there is no doubt that they broke the law when they didn't seal the votes in the last elections. This meant that they counted first, for those who don't know about this, they counted the votes, and we had 5 people at the parliament, which is this is a little bit complicated system. It means that it's to evening out the MPs. There are some other MPs that falls in, if there is for example, if one party gets X amount of votes in the Northwest, then all of a sudden they will get another MP in the Northeast, just balancing things out. It's an old system. It works fine, actually. Never been a problem until now, although sometimes it's, of course, controversial. But in this time, the Northwest, the committee, they counted the vote, but when they recounted it, then there was they miscounted 12 votes, meaning that these 5 people, they went out and 5 new MPs are now at the parliament. Of course, because the committee didn't do everything right, that's for sure. They didn't seal the votes, meaning that they literally broke law. They didn't secure the room that the votes were in, which is also they're actually not charged for that, but this is obviously not good practice. And also, these guys, the thing is, we don't know if the second count is correct or not. that's basically what this is all about. And this has cast a doubt about the security of our elections. And of course, the US, you know this very much better than we do, that this is a serious thing. So there is a committee at the parliament that is investigating this thing, and they are doing so pretty convincingly right now. And part of this is, of course, that the police has been investigating, and they have decided to offer these people in the committee that messed up to pay a fine from 150,000 Icelandic krona, so roughly around $1,000, up to 250,000, which is roughly around $2,000. But here's the thing, these people are, well, Icelanders view them as a little bit arrogant. They have said, they have actually had like a very odd excuses about these things. One have said that, like the chairman has said that it can't be illegal to make mistakes, which is a very famous quote in Iceland. Unfortunately, for him at least, many people that commit crimes are actually would say that it was a mistake. For example, also, some of the people refuse to pay the fine, and they say the reason is that it was not their intention to do this wrong. But the thing is that you could say the same about like when you're driving too fast or something. It's not your intention to go too fast, not all the time. Sometimes you just lose track, but it's still illegal. There is actually also in the laws, it's pretty clear that if you do something that is not good practice, you will have to pay fine. And for example, not sealing the boxes, well, I mean, it's illegal, so you'll be fined. But this is also interesting because they don't want to pay this, and this means that the police officer in the Northwest need to issue indict them, something like that. And that means that this case could go to court. But if they pay the fine, it won't. So it's going to be interesting if this will happen, of course. Also, there seems to be like there was an internal a debate where some of the people in the committee didn't want to recount, while others wanted to do it. And when they did, in the end, the people that have like a legal right to be at the place while recounting, and these people are often like from the parties, they were not all of them were informed that they were recounting. So there was a lot of odd things going on in this, and this is just still ongoing. And I have to say, this is an incredible case. Also, the head of the committee that did the counting, he is a judge in the Northwest, which makes this a little bit odder even. And he has answered quite like loudly back. He has accused the MPs, the press charges because of these elections, about false accusation. And he says that he is obviously going to fight till the end. So we'll see what happens here, but this is obviously like for Icelanders, like when it comes to reputation, we take this very seriously, and this is like a huge hit for this judge's reputation, and I have to say, Icelanders do not like this. So, also, the police say actually that they can't say if the votes were changed or not. They did have active cameras in the hotel in Borgarnes, which is in the northwest of Iceland, but they say that although they saw people going into the room, which they were not allowed to at all, they can't say if they didn't have the cameras on the votes all the time, but at all actually. So when people went in there, the police says, we have no idea if they changed anything or if they, or if not. Right now, it feels like it doesn't really matter. What matters here is like how the trust is when it comes to the elections. And everything is about trust, especially when it comes to democracy. Without the trust, the democracy is literally in danger. So this is an odd situation, I have to say. And this could escalate even more, and I think I will have to tell more news about this So keep this in mind, like the election mess in the Northwest is far from over, and it feels like it's only getting worse. And we will hopefully have some conclusion. There is a committee within the parliament investigating it, and if they say that the second vote is valid, the one that is like people are disputing about, then I mean it could really affect the credibility of the elections, and this could be court cases and so on and so on. And we do love court, so. But you're perhaps thinking, where are we going? Where are we? We are in Grandi, in the west of Reykjavik, and we are actually going to a shop here. It's called Elko. This is where I buy my computers and phones and whatnot when I have the money. But what's interesting about this right now is that we actually have an art exhibition called Sequences that is going on. This is where I buy my food, but this is the store. This art exhibition, Sequences, is brilliant. It's in various places all around the city, even in Ísafjörður and Hveragerði. But there is an exhibition here, and this exhibition it caught our attention for a simple reason, because the artist has made a belt that is supposed to like make you forget about money trouble. So here we are in the COVID, and money is basically our concerns right now. Here, let's check it out. Yeah. So this is one of the most I don't know, biggest, cheapest shops in Iceland that sells computers, phones, and so on, and even coffee makers. And if it has electricity, then basically this is the place you want to go. It's also very close to my home, which is very convenient, at least for me, of course. So we're going to check out these belts. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. Perhaps show them the ad. I don't know. There's like a very nice ad here. You can see this is the belt. You're on the beach, not thinking about how much you owe at the time or something. The artist himself is Sæmundur Þór Helgason, and this belt is called Solar Plexus Pressure Belt, trademark G2. I don't know what G2 means, but it's designed for pressing into the solar plexus with the aim of reducing financially induced anxiety without pharmaceutical medication. The device is produced by Fellowship of Citizens on interested group lobbying for universal basic income in Iceland. And we at Grapevine actually love universal income. It's a fantastic idea in my opinion, but then again, I mean, it doesn't feel like very doable in the economy right now. It also said the prototype of the belt was developed by the artist in 2018 in collaboration with the fashion designer Agata, I think I'm saying this correctly, Agata Mickiewicz. This is probably completely wrong. Artist is not laughing because he knows exactly the name, I guess. And the graphic designer Gabriel Markan. The new iteration of the belt has been improved in accordance with users' experience and has attained an ergonomic design that follows the organic curves of the human body. During Sequences X, the belt is available here in different colors and size. Thank God for that. You can see that they are going for the color of the skin, I guess. Or if you're darker, then we have this, I guess. For fat people like me, I think this would be the best fit. But he is encouraging people that come to this exhibition to try this out. So I'm going to try it out. What do you say, Art? I have the mic here. What do you say? Can I take it off? Okay. So This is the belt that is supposed to make me stop worrying about money. I'm not sure, to be honest, if this will work. I'm guessing that I have to take this out. Yeah. And probably I have to just thrust myself into it, you know. Nee, this is wrong. This is how much anxiety about money I have. I don't even know how this is supposed to be. Oh. Okay. This is a perfect fit, right? It's actually more comfortable than you would think. Now, how is this going to affect my money problems? I have no idea. There's actually, if you check it out, it's like, this doesn't feel practical, but perhaps it's supposed to like be a little bit tighter and like go into, this is actually interesting. So if I put on my jacket, do it like this, perfect, right? Even a little trendy, right? So this is it for our newscast today. Keep in mind, if you're actually in Iceland, then check out the Sequences Art Festival. We'll put a link in the description. It's a wonderful, wonderful art. Like, it's all of the young, best artists in Iceland are doing some silly things like this. I wouldn't say silly. It's of course it's quite smart, quite funny. Also, it's like an incredibly fun environment actually to do this. But yeah. Also, of course, remember our membership and like and subscribe if you like it. And we'll be here, well, I'll be here at least next Tuesday. And until then, I mean, it feels like I don't have any, I'm not thinking about money right now. So let's just, let's just stop at that. Okay, see you later.